on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted down. All the isms out there, just more foolishness. And let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, down. Down, down. We are bring it down. We've got to bring it down. Down. Stand up and shout. Stand up and shout.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up. Stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized,
There we are. Good morning, those recliner chairs. To the bunker today, streets. But I'm able to do the senile. I just go overworked. But anyway, welcome guys. I love technology. I could be anywhere. And I am anywhere.
Be in Paris.
Maybe I'm in Paris. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the show. We got Vincent Squire and Diana Murray Clements on the line. And I tell you,
the queen of morning talk media.
We're going to have 70-some days. What is it, 77 days now, whatever it is?
Not counting.
And counting but anyway, what's going on, Diane? I'm not ready to get that heavy yet. I want to talk about my tomato that I ate yesterday. I ate one of the tomatoes I took off the vine.
Did you?
It was delicious. Well, you've been harvesting.
I made tomato soup yesterday. Today is the perfect day to eat soup.
I know. It feels like fall, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep, it's nice today. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's a good
At
idea.
some point I'm not at some point. At lunchtime. That's what I'm going to do. Lunchtime. I'm going to eat tomato soup. I'll let you know how it turns out.
You know.
But in the world today, so you want to start local or you want to do national? Tell me which way you want to. They are permanently closing 800 local.
You know what?
No,
Krispy Kreme.
Starbucks.
Krispy Kreme. Because Dunkin' Donuts doesn't make real donuts.
What's the real?
Dunkin' Donuts went from being Dunkin' Donuts to just Dunkin'. Because they tried to compete. There were a lot of issues that Dunkin' Donuts had. They first were donuts, right? And well, first they were the Dunkin' Donut, that one donut with the little handle on the end that you could actually hold and dunk into and that was Dunkin' Donuts, and we were doing all that stuff. And then the McDonald's sandwiches, and then Dunkin' Donuts said, "Oh, we want to get in the breakfast sandwich game."
Yeah.
But
what they said is they're closing, the majority of the ones that they're going to be closing are the ones that are located at like gas stations, because they said those are the ones that are the least profitable, primarily on the East Coast.
Yeah.
The Speedway gas stations, stuff like that, wherever they're in those gas station locations. I know they have one on, what is it? Right behind Nut Frozen.
Like drinks, right? But they're coffee, which is it. I mean, that should be the staple. Start with market with that. Bucks makes people like it. It's overrated for me.
Overpriced to go with overrated.
Right. Wawa makes incredible. You got McDonald's, you got Wawa.
One of the reasons Dunkin' Donuts is struggling is, and I'm not going to use race, reducing the flavor. Exactly.
Yeah. No, he's right.
Caffeine. Home Depot just said Tuesday that their quarterly sales have risen 23 years that they have been.
I'm sponsored by Lowe's though, not Home Depot, and the soft design your deck and it's interactive, right? Or it's responsive rather. So when you make changes, you actually see in real time it shifting and moving and adjusting in size. And then once you in the years that you have, so you don't have to be in, what you can do is you can print it out, and it will print out based on what you designed all of the materials you need.
Print that you can take to your town.
The blueprint, you get the cost of materials, and it also prints out the tools that you'll need. So it'll give you every single thing you need.
And it goes to the finance page so you can get credit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's good.
two reasons that is happening. One, you're
What
absolutely
about it? How many times have you been back and forth?
I don't go to Home Depot.
more than I can count.
Not me. I order everything on Amazon now. I went to Home Depot one time.
The one I go to, they just allow you to just walk in.
No, so I had to fix the toilet, and I didn't know there was such a kit. It's called the tank to bowl kit, right?
Yeah.
But we had a leak, and the leak was so bad that we were in the kitchen, and there was a drip coming down, and so she patted it and dealt with it, and then I went to Home Depot to get the kit, and there was a massive line. I went home. I said, we're gonna put a little bucket under this. Then after waiting all that time, and then I went to go remove the bolts. And as I was going to do that, I realized one bolt was loose. So guess what I did? I tightened it, and tightening it, see.
Wow. Look at you pretending to be Rhoda.
With my invoice and still haven't been paid.
Down. You know what? I don't like you, Vincent, but you make
Diane.
Get him, Diane.
Yeah. Anywho, so moving over.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Another reason the increase. People are now working on updating their homes to sell them.
Yeah.
That's true. So we have an influx of people coming from New York because they said there's a 10% increase in vacancies in apartments in Manhattan. And now,
Well,
it's a lot.
why would they?
And you get a backyard and some grass and some privacy. So when you got to be sequestered to your house, it's different than being sequestered to four walls all day and night. The corner of Park Place and Chancellor Irving General was.
Yeah.
Nice building, small building. Maybe 20 apartments, if that many. But I didn't like the fact that, you walk out your door and you're not at your car. You got to walk down the stairs. You got to look for parking. Because it was the main street. When it snows, they have to clear the street so you can't park on Chancellor Avenue because it's an emergency road. It's just too much.
I lived in the building once. And a community or a city with these that you don't have to go out for much if you don't want to. You got a gym downstairs, you got a social room downstairs.
Oh, you lived in a Ritzy building. A neighbor who had roaches, so
I had
spraying all the time.
Wow.
And I figured out it was coming from the connecting wall. But that was the wall that I lined up with all the roach stuff.
Were you a part of the show when I was telling you about my roach infestation when I was 19?
Mm-mm.
There's a guy who this is the church that I was excommunicated from, and I used to
go ahead.
you know where the IHOP is where he lived. Almost he and his family were living there, but I went to this Reformed Baptist church.
What would you do?
So I used to sit on the couch and wait for him to get ready, and you nod off because it was early. We'd get there for Sunday school. He was tucking away. Anyway, so I'm fast forwarding through those experiences, and then he had to move out to be like Jesus. So I told him he could move in, and 2 weeks later I had complete roach infestation. 2 weeks done. So I would like creep in. It got so bad I was going to war with these roaches. I had raid at the front door, raid at the back door. So wherever I came, like kamikaze missions off the refrigerator, you'd hear him hitting the floor like dry, like freaking dry raisins. Yeah, it was crazy. So I called Orkin. Do you remember Orkin? I called
Yes.
the Orkin people, Diane. I'm like, you guys gonna come in, and I'm saying to myself, like, dude, what did you do to me?
He brought him with him.
He brought them with him in the boxes, in his clothes.
So this is the deal about.
Yo, I'm telling you.
See, there's two types of roaches. There's those roaches in those nice Ritzy apartments where you can use raid. That's what I'm talking about.
That's all that work, man. You got to learn how to tap dance, baby. I'm
telling you.
But listen, when the Orkin guy keeps roaches, he's like, well, this is the German cockroach, and this is the whatever. I'm like, yo, dude, are you kidding me? I'm like, look, go look over there in the corner. They'll show up soon. Just go stand there.
Talking about bad apartment bowl. When I went shopping, they be sitting up there checking the inventory. Like, God darn it, he brought cereal. I keep telling them to buy Lucky Charms.
No, listen, mice. I had an issue with mice too, and they do. If you don't resolve it, they do get very bold, you know, and they domesticate themselves. Like they just roam around, you know. I'm not gonna tell you what. But in the
I can't help Marie. I couldn't help it.
Diane. No, they don't.
Oh, they all out there protesting with their time.
They kill anything that's living.
Oh, God. I couldn't be that person. Look, you know, I was out there killing bees in my house. They started a nest, and I was like, oh, no.
Now, you should not... Now, you should not kill... No. Thou shalt not kill bees. They are a critical...
garden.
Absolutely.
And if they ain't paying rent...
I tried to give them a warning, but they didn't take heed. I sprayed them as they were flying, and they paperwork.
Pollination of this planet. Like a gnat at a barbecue.
Yeah, nah. There's certain things that should remain outside. Rats, roaches, mice, all of that stuff.
Wait a minute. Tell me you don't kill spiders.
The pus blow up. Yep, just like that.
Wow.
Just like that.
Me too.
Now you telling me you never scraped out this stuff out of the
I never did. I never did.
Stuff.
And you know what? I could never step on what is on the water bugs.
And they pop.
Oh man, that's nasty. That's just straight up nasty, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing bigger than a water bug. I would kick. Well, yeah, mice. Yeah, they gotta go.
Oh, Diane, let me add one more thing to that list that should remain outside with roaches, rats, asking for money.
Oh, they don't even get inside.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh.
You know,
teach me your training sensei.
So I said, look, if I ever hit the lotto, there's certain people, some relatives too, who would not be permitted on the premises. I'd move into a place that was probably a mile off the main road, so that I could see him coming. So some night lighting with absolute horror. Like, no, don't say that.
That was terrible. All right, stay focused. Get your minds ready.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Jeez. Okay, so in Newark, watch that show, Welcome to the Woman who has a restaurant, and she called the group because she lost her voice, but came back home to St. Louis, started to start out like a one location. Her son had been start this show. The son is now expanding the shop, wants to expand the business. The mother's pushing her not to do it. She ends up suing the son because he was using a name to open up in other locations and she hadn't approved it because she's the owner of the business and the name. So there was a falling out there who she was trying to keep out the street during various in the course of them filming and everything. Come to find out yesterday that he bought a $450,000 life insurance policy on him in 2014. He died. That
is bizarre.
Absolutely freaking crazy. So those are for all the Sweetie Pie people who used to watch the show, because I really enjoyed the show. It was a good show, family show.
Oh, it was a family show?
Well, it was. It was about her family. Her whole family was working in the business. Her sisters, her nephews, her nieces, everybody worked in the family business. And talked to him and stuff. But he was a grown man, and she couldn't tell him for so much. And he had a baby with his girlfriend, and she ended up leaving him, and it was just messy. Then he ended up dating, oh gosh, what's her name from the Basketball Wives? That's from New Jersey, from South Orange.
Tammy?
No, Tammy's not. Tammy's from Philly. The one that used to fight with Tammy. She used to,
Oh, yeah.
She threw her off. But yeah, so anyway, but that girl from the house, and she was dating him, they broke up, and people wouldn't believe it because he's my local. So that took us from Missouri, Midwest, back to the East Coast. So Newark says that it wants to be the model for police reform, but the residents still don't change in the community, and that Newark is struggling and has been struggling for decades to get it there. But there is some people that think that it can and cannot happen, but Newark says that it's going to happen. They're going to create some type of this wholesome police department, and it will be a model for other cities. What are your thoughts?
You see the blood dripping down.
So there you go with Newark. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, is it an election period?
No.
Okay. Put approach to this and say, okay, if that is what you are truly doing, then hats off to you. I'll also say good luck. Because we've been dealing with too much of the Clinton regime where these people were making money off of arresting people and, helping.
Gotcha. So going back to, whatchamacallit, her name was Jennifer Williams, and she was married to Irv Williams. That was her husband. He played for, oh gosh, what team did he play for? I'm going to tell you.
Boston. Boston. I think he went to New Providence, right? Then he was drafted to Boston. I don't know what team he went to after Boston.
You're right. He started at Boston. He
went to Shabazz Land Elementary School, and some guys would come up and would play. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's that. So that's your local news. So he was on Basketball Wives when they were together, and then they got divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no comment, huh?
No comment.
Look, if
Wish
you
him
want to
well.
get divorced, break up your family. So they talked about, we had our primaries last night, but they said some of the other primaries that are happening that you need to pay attention to. Tuesday's primaries, and who is in jeopardy of losing his seat. And then in Wyoming, did I say Wyoming? Yeah. And so while everybody's looking at the Democratic Party and their primaries that have just completed, we've got the Republican primaries that are happening. I don't think there are going to be any seat flips. Do you?
Oh yeah, Tina. I'm sorry. She's saying that the audio, the video keeps going in and out. The internet.
Want to check a flip over?
No.
That the Democrats flip any seats?
No.
Well,
I don't.
Okay.
Vincent, what do you think? Oh, Vincent's not there?
I guess.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Whatsoever. The nation seems to be, or a lot of mainstream media, followed by a lot of other people, are focused on the Democrats because they are anticipating this Democratic wave. The theory nationally is that the blue wave, they are going to flip the Senate and increase the House. But we'll talk about, and then there's another underlying where I think that they have a very sustainable plan of action